treading water. What does treading water have to do with building a profitable business coaching practice? That's what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Business Coaching Success Podcast. Let's jump in. BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Welcome. Glad that you are here. Interesting topic, I know, or at least it is to me. Now, I'll give you some context as we get into this. Just got back from fall break. We went down to the beach and had a great time. The weather was amazing. And every time that I'm, there's just something about the, therapy about the ocean, salt water, just the vastness of when you look out into the sea, and there's just so much of what amazing God's handiwork is at play. And as we were in the water, both in the pool and in the ocean, I always just think about this whole treading thing. And then recently, as in the last few days, a friend of mine had made a post on Facebook with this same context about treading water pertaining to building a business, and certainly in this context, a business coaching business. And real quick, as we dive in, if you love making an impact on people, you love making helping people. Perhaps you've been coaching for free, on your own as you've helped others. Maybe you own a business. Maybe you've got some experience in business and you like helping others. You'd like to do that and make money doing it, but you just don't know where to start. You don't have the resources or the tools to do it systematically. You can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. Some information that you can get there about our done-for-you system. And perhaps it could add some value to you if you're interested in ever booking a call and talking about that, of how it works. Love to do that with you as well. Treading water. And so it's counterintuitive thinking. And here's what I mean. Perhaps you have, you've searched out different coaching programs, you looked around the internet, and as you clicked on things, you see all these ads of different programs and options. And the message that you hear on a consistent basis is how easy that it is to make a lot of money or to do whatever it is going to do. And while that's not inherently wrong, it's just not as simple, at least into, getting things going. And many things are omitted to the work that's required. I say many things. The messages is omitting the work required to build anything, right? And so you hear this, it's easy or it's simple. You hear this, it's always going to go to plan, or you hear this, every goal that you hit, that you create, you're going to hit, and so on. And I think if we think logically, and even if you look back on your own personal experience in life, that's probably a pretty good measurement to say that's not exactly accurate. And if you're watching this via video, then I'll make this illustration with my hands here. You've seen, and if you've listened by audio, I'll articulate that as well. We believe that success is linear. In other words, it's here, point A, and it goes up to point B, one straight line, right? When success really is, it's all over the place. It's up, it's down, it's backwards, it's circles, it's missing links and everything, but it does move forward in a trajectory, at an angle upwards to hit success. And those who hang on long enough, in other words, tread water, had the opportunity, and most are going to become successful. The only reason that most people in coaching aren't successful is they don't tread water. I'll explain exactly what that means in a second. And they don't see it through. And I'll have coaches that join our team. We've got a lot of coaches on our team all over the country. And from time to time, we'll get some really good guys, but they're 90 days into it. They're like, hey, this isn't really working for me. And my first initial response wants to be, dude, it's been 90 days. Like, let's be pragmatic here. And by the way, inside those 90 days, oftentimes they haven't shown up to calls. They haven't really done a lot of work. And they're just expecting this, rainbows and unicorns. And look, if it was that simple, then I wouldn't need to do this podcast and try to tell you, it all just work. but it doesn't. And so I'm going to give you some things to consider, to think about in treading water. Treading water just simply means this, is that as you're going through the process, I'm going to lay out a few key points about what the process looks like. As you're going through the process, there's going to be elements of question marks. And inside those elements of question marks is time. And inside that time that's where we're treading water. It doesn't mean that you're struggling. It means that you are pedaling, if you want to call it that, but you're moving your legs, keeping your heads above water by design. Because what happens when you stop treading? You go under, you sink. Now, sometimes I will tell you that you may be treading water and don't realize that there is actually sea level underneath it that you can stand on. And that's usually because we don't really understand where we're at in the process. We're not listening well, and therefore we're building up all this energy to believe that things are worse than they actually are, and it causes us to just tread. So you want to make sure that, hey, am I over processing this right now? Maybe it's not as bad as it really is. Am I overthinking things? Am I looking for perfection and all that? There's seafloor there. We only want to tread water when there's no seafloor. Now, I would also make the argument, if you're not pushing yourself beyond the sea floor of what you can touch, you're probably not stretching yourself to where your true value lies. Okay? So number one, we got to understand, why do we want to do this? Are you looking for flexibility in your life? Are you looking to earn more money than you've ever earned before? Are you looking to be able to make a significant impact and add value and truly help someone move the needle in growth of their business? And remember, when we're helping business owners grow, they're able to hire more people. They're able to pay them better. They can invest more. If they're believers, they can invest more and give back to their church or ministries, wherever they're called to give. That's one of the beautiful things about investing into others and helping them grow. And so when we look at all that, maybe it's a combination of all those things. It certainly is for me. The reason why I do what I do, a large part of the backbone of the why is two things: flexibility and providing for my family in unique ways. There's other things that are private to me as a why, but those are two big ones. But the biggest really is flexibility. I got to go spend 7 days. This was the first time, by the way, we did not have our entire family, just our 14-year-old daughter on vacation. It was super unique. We've never done that before because our boys are older and they're moving on and they're doing their own thing and building their own life and spreading their wings. I didn't have to ask anyone, can I be off? I didn't have to ask anyone, can I be away? I didn't have to respond to people if I didn't want it to. Why? Because I am in control through God's help, through God's wisdom, through His provision. I am on my own, doing my own thing, building a business coaching practice. You can too. So what happens is when we don't have clarity to the why, which is the challenges and the treading water part becomes we overanalyze everything. We overthink everything. We already automatically tend to just drift into this is not going to work and so on. So we understand our why and we tread water. In other words, if you're starting out in the very beginning, maybe you're restarting out, right? Maybe you had 5 clients and you drifted down to 2, whatever. When you have a backbone of your why, and then we're just going to start, all right, going to make this thing work, right? We're just treading, we're going to make it work. And we can't stop. In other words, we can't stop just in treading, but we can't stop to move along in the process. We've got to move along in the process. So that's the kind of the basis, understanding the why. Second thing is, we got to begin to make plans. Now, here's the thing about plans. You may not know exactly what the plans look like now, but you're not going to know if you don't start making some. Worst case scenario, you make the wrong ones. Not the end of the world. You can change it. And if you do make the wrong plans, guess what? That's your gift to learn. John Maxwell has a book. It's sometimes you, instead of the phrase, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, it's sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Learning is amazing. And you can't learn if you're not invested into wanting to learn and knowing that I'm going to make mistakes. Life is not going to be fair to me. Things will not work out sometimes. What can I do to learn from those things to avoid that pain or at least have significant reduction in that? So First is understanding your why. Number two, begin to make plans. And guess what? Tread water, right? We're treading water along the journey. Mentally, you need to have this into your mindset that it's not about just making plans and it going perfect. It's making plans and understand that it can feel chaotic. There's a song by Cody Carnes. If you're not familiar with it, Firm Foundation, one of my favorite songs ever. And pretty early on into the lyrics, it says, I've got joy in chaos and a peace, how does it go? That makes no sense. I've got joy in chaos and a peace that makes no sense. That's kind of what treading water means. It's like, look, I'm going to start this process. I'm going to tread this water. I don't have it all figured out. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'm going to pray for wisdom and divine intervention and God to go before me, to order my steps and so on and so on and so on. But you've got to tread water. Understand your why, begin to make plans, and then you start to then seek clarity on your plans and your goals. Well, BJ, wouldn't you do that in the beginning of seeking plans? Well, sometimes we just don't know. And this is a stumbling block for a lot of new coaches. Even if you've done really, really well in building your own business, it doesn't mean that it will go to plan in helping other build theirs, and certainly to build your own business coaching practice. And so we want to begin to make the plans and then begin to refine and to seek clarity on those, okay? And you're not going to be shocked about what I'm about to tell you next. When you're doing that, you're going to tread water. Prayerfully begin to see the context of what I'm telling you. Is that there's the beginning season, there's a middle season, and there is the, hey, I've got experience season. All along the way in different ways, certainly in the very beginning, there's going to be times that, look, man, I'm not sure how this is working. I just got to tread water, get out there and go do it, okay? So, you're understanding your why. You're beginning to make plans. You're seeking clarity on those plans and getting going. And if you're in the beginning stages, here is the critical step. Number one, it's focus. I don't care where you are on the coaching journey, you must focus on what's necessary, what's needed, so that you don't get spread too thin. All right? And you need to get focus on the clarity that you're having with the goals and your plans that you're beginning to make. If you're in the beginning stages and you're brand new at coaching, for sure, or you're just kind of starting, maybe you've been coaching for free for a while, now you're starting to put it together, in one big bow, getting paid and whatnot, you want to focus on this right here, your first 3 clients. And those first 3 clients, it is permission for it to just feel like it's all over the place. I'm not saying to be unprofessional. I'm not suggesting that, you just run rim shot and you wing it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we have to have permission sometimes in the treading water season that we're just kind of figuring things out. I have a friend of mine who is an entrepreneur, and he has an amazing statement. Every time I see him, man, how are things going? He goes, making it up as I go. He's being facetious. He has an extremely successful business, lots of employees and stuff, and so he's not just winging it. But the point is that the treading water part is I'm just kind of figuring things out, especially as a business coach. A lot of what we do is solo. A lot of what we do is on our own. That doesn't mean we should have a community, we should have people helping us and talking with us and whatnot. I'm just simply meaning you're not going to have employees in the beginning. You're not going to have a leadership core at the beginning. Maybe you never do. It just depends upon what it is that you're looking to build. So when you focus that first big step on my first 3 clients, I've got permission to tread water and just figure it out. Because as you're getting those first 3 clients, you're gaining momentum. Now, that's if you're in the beginning. Maybe you're in the middle stages. Maybe you took your eye off the ball. Maybe you had 5, 6, 7 clients. You got a little bit lazy. You got a little bit complacent. It happens. You're normal. You're human. We're all human. We go through these things. Maybe you went through a challenging personal season and you had 5 to 7 and you shrunk down to like 3. All right, great. Guess what? Focus on your next 3. It's all relative. 3 is a really cool number because 1 is just like, all right, I did that. But once we get 3, we gain momentum, we gain cycle, we gain energy. We get clarity of what's working, what's not working. We certainly don't want to continue to do the things that are not working and move towards the things that are. Well, when you just focus on one, that could have gone really, really well, or it could have gone really, really bad. And that's why when you have three, you typically kind of siphon through a lot of different scenarios that begin to really give you clarity. Now, there's a lot of different things, right, in building a business coaching practice that we're not going to talk about here. The bigger thing is permission to tread water. It's normal. You should embrace it. Eventually, though, after you've gotten your 3 clients or you've regained 3 clients, you are now getting footing. You've got the life vest on, you're sitting on shore, you got back on the boat, whatever you want to call it, metaphor it all day long. But the point is, your momentum now is beginning to carry you. You're not out of breath. You're not trying to be in such a hurry because things are beginning to get clear. And that's where you want to be. But when you first start out or you regain momentum, or maybe you only had 2 clients or whatever, if you're looking for perfection, if it to just like magically happen, and I will tell you, there are times that does happen. We had a coach in the last couple of weeks. He's brand new into our system and our community, and he got first 2 clients in the first 2 weeks. To be fair, he has a very well-defined network already kind of perched. That's not everybody's story. And so it is going to be different for everyone. It's going to change and have different dimensions to everybody. But this is what I'm describing to you is fairly normal for probably 90% or more of coaches building their coaching business. Okay? So I know you hear some of the noise. You want to press on being counterintuitive to it and understand. I need to understand really why I'm doing this. I'm saving up for my 401k. I'm paying for college. I had a business that didn't go well, and I got to pay back my debtors. Whatever the case may be, what's your big why? Maybe you're part-time retired. You're 55, 65 years of age. You've sold some businesses, or maybe you worked for a large firm and they moved on and downsized, but they gave you a significant payout. You just don't need to work, the in quotations 40 hours, although I hate that term. And you just want a few clients. It doesn't matter. Understand your why. Make your plans. Get clarity on your plans and focus on your 3 clients. And all throughout those stages, tread water. It's okay. As you do it, lots of things are going to happen. You're going to discover a lot of things about yourself. You're going to discover a lot of new relationships. You're going to discover how to truly help add value and bring progress to those that you're coaching and that you're helping. Okay? Hope that added value to you. Again, if you're interested in learning more about what we do, businesscoachmastery.com, information there. Until next time, take care.